Hey everyone, welcome back to Jessica Lynn at Home. I'm Jessica. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications so you never miss out on a new video. Today I'm going to share with you how I made this faux olive tree. I found some olive branches at Dollar Tree, so I decided to make a tree out of them and I made it for under $30. So let's get started. The first step to creating this faux olive tree is to go outside and find a stick that you can use as a base. So I am going to use not just a stick, I'm going to use something that has branches coming off of it as well because I want it to look a little bit fuller. So I'm going to cut down this little tree. It's a Bradford pear tree. It's invasive in Ohio. We have them all over our property and they overtake everything. So my husband was outside trimming some things with the chainsaw, so he gladly cut this one down for me, and that is going to work perfect as the base for this olive tree. Next, I needed a small planter to set my stick down in to build my tree from. So I need to weigh this planter down though. So I'm going to use some fast setting Quikrete that I got from Home Depot. It sets up in about 20 to 40 minutes. I just filled the planter up and then added some water and started mixing. Unfortunately, I couldn't get to the bottom of the planter once I did that though, so I did pour everything into a bigger bucket, mixed it all up, and then poured it back into the smaller bucket. And then I did add a little bit more Quikrete after I did that, so that way it would be a little bit thicker and I would get more of a cake batter consistency. Then I was able to just place my stick right down in the center of that planter, and then to hold my stick in place, I used a few pieces of painter's tape that just boxed in the stick so that way it would stand up nicely while it sat there and dried for about 40 minutes. While the concrete base for the tree is drying, I went out to our barn and found this large heavy planter that needed some TLC. It was left here by the previous owners. So I just took a sanding block and sanded it down to get the loose paint off of it. And then I gave it a couple coats of spray paint to liven it up. So this is not included in the cost of making the actual tree. I am just going to put the tree, once it's all done with the concrete base, inside this planter just to make it look a little more grand. But I thought I would go ahead and share this with you guys in case you had a planter or you wanted to find one at the thrift store or even a garage sale. So now I brought the tree inside, and it has some extra branches at the bottom that I don't need and some little kind of twigs around at the top. So I just took some pruners and I cut those off. Now I'm going to use 10 of these olive branches from Dollar Tree. Now what I'm going to do with the olive branches is I'm going to break each one of them into 3 separate pieces. So if you just pull them apart, they just kind of pull off with the wire attached, and then you just cut that wire on each piece, but you want to leave a little bit of the wire exposed on each branch that you cut off. So to place the olive branches on the tree, I left that wire exposed to just stick right inside the branch on the tree. So this branch, I just stuck one right at the very top, and then I took the other 2 olive branches and I just staggered them down that same branch. And I just poked right through the branch of the tree, and because it was green, it was still pliable and easy to poke that wire through the top of those branches. I didn't have to use any hot glue to secure the olive branches to the tree branches. They stuck nicely with just the wire, and I was even able to pose the olive branch part and move them around without them falling off or anything. I ended up using 5 bunches. I had 5 limbs on my tree, so I used 1 bunch for each limb. So I had 3 pieces, which was 1 bunch for each limb. Once I got the initial olive branches on, this is what it looked like. It was a little sparse, but I still had the 5 other olive branches to work with. So I cut those up the same exact way, left the wires exposed, and then I just went along each one of the branches and started sticking them in and staggering them as I went down to fill up the tree and make it look fuller. Now, as I was working my way down the tree, the branches do get a little bit thicker, so it's harder for the wire to penetrate the inside of the branch. So I got out the drill with a small drill bit and I drilled a very tiny hole inside the branch. Now, I did not go all the way through the branch. I went more on a diagonal so that way my wire would just sit nicely inside that branch and not go through it. So I just was very gentle, making sure I didn't break the branch, and I was able to do that. So if you didn't have a green tree, this is another option. You can use a drill bit and you can drill holes in the tree and then stick the olive branches right through that, and that would work as well to get this faux olive tree look. I used all of the olive branches for my tree, and I think what's great about this project is everybody's tree is going to look different depending on what stick they pick out. So I finished that all up, and then I went ahead and brought in my planter that I had spray painted, and I placed it in this corner by this doorway, but I moved it later because it's not gonna, everybody's just gonna be hitting it going in and out of that doorway. So, but I went ahead and placed my tree inside the planter, and then to cover up the inside there to make it look a little more fuller, I used an old blanket, and then I took 6 bags of moss and I placed that inside the top of the planter, and I absolutely love how this tree turned out. I think it is beautiful, and for under $30, you can't beat that. So, and you can definitely make it more grand. You can add more stems, however you want. You can customize it to your liking. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you got some useful tips out of it. Make sure to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.